Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Cassie cries in court during Diddy's trial. Sick details. I'll be sure. Wait, that's
I'll Be Sure.
the name. I'll be
hmm
sure.
hmm
I'll
I'll
be
Be
sure.
Sure.
I'll be sure.
I'll Be
I'll be
Sure.
sure.
This
No
is
way, that's a
serious.
real name.
This is serious.
No way, that's a real name. That's like Meta World Peace type of name. Nah, he changed his name. Anyway, it says Diddy tried to unalive him.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. P. Diddy's trial has started, and I tell you, the details so far have been crazy already. Diddy right now is facing some serious charges. The feds hit him with a racketeering charge, a trafficking charge,
They
and
say
also a
he
charge
don't
with
even look like that anymore. All his hair is white.
A lot of stress.
They made him look also like a grandpa.
A lot of stress. Also, maybe
And
intentional.
not dyeing his hair either.
Probably intentional.
relating to transportation to engage in prostitution. And if Diddy is found guilty on all these counts, he could be facing life in prison. Now, the prosecutors did show the footage where Diddy was beating down his ex-girlfriend Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel. And one of the security guards who intervened during that incident did give a testimony and said that Diddy was shouting at her and telling her not to leave. And he even said that Diddy tried to bribe him, but he turned it down. He also said that Cassie had a bruised eye, but Diddy's defense team did kind of grill him, and they pointed out the fact that some of the stuff that he was saying was not written down in his initial incident report. So there is some discrepancy.
What's crazy is from hearing about this case, Cassie, she doesn't believe she's beautiful. This man destroyed her self-esteem. Been had her since she was 19.
That's what abusers do, though.
Diddy's
That's how you stay with them, because you don't have self-esteem to leave.
also downplayed the idea that Diddy bribed him because the security guard was complaining about the damages. So they basically argued that Diddy was offering money to pay for the damages, not to bribe him. Now, the prosecutors brought up a second witness, and this was kind of crazy. The second witness was a male escort named Daniel Phillip, and he said that he participated in multiple freak-off sessions with Diddy and Cassie. Now, if you remember in Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy, she claimed that Diddy would arrange for her to sleep with men while he sat and watched and jacked off in the corner. That is what they would call their freak-off sessions. And Cassie did also say that she was the one who would actually select the escorts upon Diddy's instruction. This escort in particular, Daniel Phillip, claimed that Cassie paid him. He showed up at the hotel. He thought that he was going to strip for a bachelorette party. Come to find out, he walked into a private freak-off party and Cassie offered him money, and then she told him to rub her down with some baby oil, and they started getting nasty. And meanwhile, Diddy was in a corner with a bandana covering his face, and he was just watching, sitting there jacking off. Diddy would also record them and tell them to rub more baby oil on each other. And the escort did say that these freak-off encounters would last up to 10 hours, and he would get paid up to $6,000 in cash. And rarely did they use condoms. Whew. So can you imagine the STDs? Whew. And one time,
10,000 for 6 hours and your health.
I think she said 6,000 for 10 hours, so $600 an hour.
Cassie asked the escort to give her a golden shower. This is what the escort, Daniel Phillips, said. He said, Cassie was actually the one who asked me to urinate on her. She asked me if I ever done that before. She told me to do it. Apparently, I was doing it wrong because they both told me. Also, the escort, Daniel, did say that he did witness Diddy put his hands on Cassie a number of times. One time, Diddy threw a glass bottle at her and dragged her by her hair into another room. And Daniel said she was screaming. He said, I could hear what sounded like him slapping her. She was screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then he heard Diddy tell Cassie, be when I tell you to come now, not later. Now, the escort, Daniel, did not intervene.
It's hard to see these photos, these paparazzi photos when they were together publicly, and then to hear what happened behind the scenes. It's so off-putting.
Yeah.
Because he was scared. He was scared that if he did something, Diddy would take his life. And he didn't want that to happen. And also, he detailed another incident where Diddy was slapping Cassie behind the bedroom doors.
Okay, so I'll be sure is this witness, or no?
The first witness that we saw
No,
was
the person we talk about right now, the escort. That's the I'll be sure?
No.
Oh.
And she was screaming, and then he left the hotel room, and Cassie jumped into Daniel's lap and she started crying. And then she started kissing him, and their kissing turned into them having a full-blown intercourse.
That's Cassie?
Mm-hmm.
Look like Zendaya.
To me, she almost looks like Sierra here.
And then Diddy's freaky self pops up out of nowhere and starts watching them again. So that was a good bulk of the escort's testimony. It was very graphic. It was so graphic that Diddy's daughters had to leave the courtroom. And honestly, I don't know why Diddy would even want his children there. It's just not appropriate. And
I wonder how that was like. Okay, at that moment you just decide, okay, I don't want to hear this.
I guess you kind of have to bring the family to show the jury, oh, I'm a family man, I have the
But
kids.
damn,
But
not
goddamn,
this
the kids
part.
gotta hear this shit. For fuck.
agree with him trying to use his children to soften his image for the jury. Now, I want to get into Cassie's testimony because this is, in fact, important. Now, Cassie was in a 10-year relationship with Diddy, and it was very volatile. Cassie actually sued Diddy in 2023 and accused him of SA, DV. She claims he drugged her, violated her, and
DV?
Mm-hmm.
What is DV?
Domestic violence.
Oh.
did all types of heinous stuff to her. And Diddy did settle that $30 million lawsuit within a day. And of course, that made him look guilty because that was the fastest settlement in entertainment history. And this lawsuit actually led the feds to investigate Diddy and also arrest him. So Cassie's lawsuit and her testimony are very important. And like I mentioned before, Diddy is facing racketeering charges. And
That's Cassie
basically, he's
too?
being accused of
She look like Kardashian here. God damn, she.
running a criminal enterprise and using bribery and arson and trafficking and all sorts of crimes under his company. And also he's facing another charge for sex trafficking and also
So that's what he
transporting
looked like, I guess?
This is when they first pulled him and he was
Oh.
put into jail.
prostitutes
Now he
across
even
state
aged
lines
more.
to engage in sex. So that is illegal. And Cassie's testimony actually strengthens the prosecutor's case against Diddy because she admitted that Diddy had his staff provide her with drugs for their freak-offs. And some of these drugs were illegal, like ecstasy, that's not legal. Diddy would also use travel agents who worked for his company to arrange for escorts to fly in for the freak-offs. And their freak-offs would take place in different states and different countries. So they were flying prostitutes in, and that is actually illegal too. So Diddy was using his network of people and his enterprise to basically engage in crimes. And this is what's going to cook Diddy.
Is he being charged for drug distribution? Or
I'm
no?
not too sure
'Cause
about that.
the drug distribution one, if he gave them ecstasy, this looks like a drug distribution charge right there.
The thing is that I think he's could be facing life, so I think they're trying to get him as little as possible time.
Oh, so you're saying like drug distribution is just
I think
we'll take it.
I think so. I don't think you want to spend life in jail, but
Right.
I think if he could get 5 years, 10 years instead of like 30, 50, he'll take it.
Yes, he's violent and yes, he's freaky, but those are just descriptions of his character. However, it's these crimes that are going to have him locked up for life. Now, Cassie hit the stand and she broke down in tears, y'all. She talked about how she met Diddy. You know, she was an aspiring singer. She met him when she was 19 years old and he was in his mid 30s, close to 40. And of course, since she was signed to him, he had this power over her. He had power over her career and her choices. And he also lured her into having a romantic relationship with him. And Cassie admitted that she was in love with Diddy. She was enamored by his fun, outgoing personality. However, she didn't know that he had a dark, devious side. She said that he would frequently put his hands on her and he would leave injuries all over her body. She said sometimes if she even looked at him wrong, he would knock her in the face. So he was very
understand
temperamental and moody
why.
at times. And
Moody, he's in a bad mood. She looks at him wrong. He's like,
Yeah, but,
I
wow.
don't know.
also, she said she was shocked when Diddy introduced her to these freak-offs. Diddy liked to watch his partners sleep with other men. That is how he got his rocks off, right? So he wanted Cassie to do that. And at the time, Cassie was young. She was inexperienced. And she didn't really open up until Diddy gave her some ecstasy. And that's when she got lured into the freak-off lifestyle, okay? Now, some people would argue that she was complicit because she picked the escorts and she oftentimes paid them, but she claims that she did it under Diddy's instruction. And at
Yeah, I think she could claim that it was under duress. I don't think you can.
You
Plus,
really have a choice.
yeah, she's not on trial here, so.
first, Diddy was the one who was picking the escorts, but then he gave her the task to do it. And She would have to find them off of Craigslist or Backpage, and Diddy would have to approve. But Diddy was really the one who was orchestrating all of the freak offs. He was the one who set up how he wanted it done. He was recording her. There was like tons of blackmail footage that they both recorded. And she claims that she didn't really know how to refuse the freak offs because she didn't know how Diddy would react. Diddy was moody. He was temperamental. She was scared that he would get mad or violent. And she also didn't want to be rejected because in her mind, she was in love with him. So it's clear that she had some form of Stockholm syndrome. The freak offs were humiliating. It made her feel disgusting. She actually broke down in tears when she talked about it. She was always drugged up when she did the freak offs too. She was always either
And
on
it's been some
ecstasy.
time now since she had like separated from him, but she's still having these emotional responses.
Coke or mushrooms, and she drank alcohol, and she would be doing freak offs for days at a time. The longest freak off session was like over 4 days, and she had to take coke to keep her going. Like, it was a lot. And Diddy loved to see Cassie get peed on. He liked the escorts to pee on her, and not to mention he was obsessed with baby oil. He wanted Cassie and his escorts glistening in baby oil. Cassie said they used 10 bottles of baby oil per freak off session. And one time Diddy had Cassie get into a pool full of baby oil. It was just crazy. Her testimony was really intense, and she has more.
So I guess all that saying that Diddy was gay and baby oil was for, other men, maybe that's a little far-fetched now. If they use baby oil and he just loved baby oil, if 10 bottles per session, the 1,000 bottles, it's not like that's fucking pools of baby oil. I don't know.
Testimony left. She will be cross-examined by Diddy's defense team, but as far as I'm concerned, Diddy is cooked. Now, I do want to talk about this because some days ago, the R&B singer Albie Shore revealed that he believes that Diddy was behind his medical crisis that almost ended his life. He thinks Diddy tried to take him out. Now, if you don't know, back in 2022, Albie Shore collapsed and fell into a coma for 2 months, and he suffered from multiple organ failure, and it really is a miracle that he was able to make it out alive. But he got a liver transplant and he recovered, and now he's alive to tell his story, and he is dropping a tell-all book called Do You Believe Me Now? And he is alleging a lot of things, and he is saying that Diddy tried to take him out because he was about to tell it all.
I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive.
Albie Shore also believes that Diddy might have been behind his ex, Kim Porter's, death. It was widely reported that Kim passed from pneumonia, but there are some people who don't believe that. There are people who believe that Diddy had Kim Porter taken out because she was about to write a tell-all book about him.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why. Basically.
Do you believe that she died of
He was
pneumonia?
probably jealous of his relationship with his ex, Kim Porter, because they have kids together.
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing.
So this once again,
I don't like it. It's hearsay. She was in the best of health and then she got sick. Nah,
With pneumonia, how do you get like?
I don't know, but you need some
There's
solid
a
evidence.
lot of people have been saying that they were speculating on
Yeah,
that.
but this is big accusations. You can't just come out and throw it and just like, oh, yeah, like I don't like
or
it.
it should be investigated. That's what they're saying.
Okay, investigation, sure, bring it, but don't come out on the this gives to me like he's trying to sell a book. He's not. I don't know of his intentions. I don't think his intentions are truly.
So if he wasn't trying to sell a book, then you will feel more open to what he has to say.
Yes, and if he's not suing Diddy for money, if he just wants true justice, considering there's money involved, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying I need to see evidence before we can come at Diddy for this. There's other shit we can come at him for, but this is just far-fetched. Like,
But definitely, I feel like there's more people holding secrets because to keep up with this, you need a team.
there's definitely people holding secrets, but we have to see proof. We can't just somebody accuses and we take their word for it. We gotta see evidence.
Adds fuel to the theories that Kim Porter did not pass from natural causes, but she was actually unalived and allegedly unalived by P. Diddy. Now, we don't really know if it's true, but the fact that Albie Shore is kind of, I guess, vaguely hinting at it, it does make me wonder, you know? But anyway, tell me what you all think about.
Can I see the comments?
Yeah. He's hinting at it and it's, oh, buy my book. I'm going to tell it all in my book. I don't like that. Diddy's children in court listening to their father debauchery and stuff. It crazy to me. Yep. Y'all remember Diddy at the BT Awards sending a shout to Cassie after all the shit he put her through? This man is a demon.
Yeah, I remember that.
Carisha was promoting all this golden shower stuff to young girls.
That's true.
Who's Carisha?
Young Miami.
Oh. Leaving out all these details behind the scenes, never worship these celebrities.
That's true. That is a little bit awkward now that you think of it.
What is she related to Diddy?
Remember, no, she was dating P. Diddy at one point. And then she was talking on her podcast about golden showers. And they asked her, do you like to get peed on? And then apparently that was like a thing with her and Diddy. So now hearing and reflecting back onto this, he was probably grooming her to do that too.
He definitely was, yeah. What the fuck? Why people like to get peed on them?
Wow.
What?
Wow. And also there was accusations too with Young Miami about the drugs and where he got sources of these specific drugs.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
You don't remember him?
No, I'm not. I'm still confused about why people like to get peed on. I'm so confused about that.
And there's people who get pooped on too in Dubai.
I
They
heard
say
that
the
too.
girls that go on those trips, they say they get pooped on.
I heard. I'm just so confused.
Is this disgusting?
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I know. Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.